It just happens to be what I'm going through, and honestly, I'm not handling everything well. I'm not okay. I keep telling people, yeah, I'm okay, I'm okay. I'm not okay. And I'm working through it, and I'm trying to get help for it. But it's okay to say that you're not okay. Hello my friends, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. It's literally been at least 2 weeks, if not more, probably more, since I sat down and filmed. I still have a whole bunch of videos backlogged that I have to edit and get out to you. Of course they're old. You expect nothing else from me, but I had to sit down today and do a get ready with me and tell you what an interesting few weeks it has been for me. So I come to you, I was going to say fresh-faced, but believe me, there is nothing fresh about this face currently, but we're going to change that. We're going to put some makeup on so I personally can feel better about myself. I just do. I have no problem going out without makeup, but I don't know. I love my makeup. I love playing with makeup. I love everything about it, and it makes me happy, and it's one of the few things aside from this channel that actually do make me happy. So a lot happened to me over the past couple of weeks. It's been a whirlwind. It's ongoing. It's continuing, and I thought I would share my experience as I lose my voice with you so that maybe you can relate. I hope you can't relate to some of it, but at least maybe you'll get a laugh and I don't know what. And you know what, let's just get going. I'm not going to show everything right now that I'm going to use. As I use it, I'll talk about it a little bit. A lot of it's new, some of it's not, and we're just going to get into it. Oh boy. I've already got all of my skincare on, and hold on, let me lower this a little bit. I don't have my primer on, and we'll get to see how some of these products apply with ridiculous amounts of sweat on my face because it's hotter than hell in here. I do have my fan going, so that's probably what you hear. I'm going to hope that my mirror behaves itself and it doesn't cause too many problems. So can't see. The primer that I'm going to be using is from Colourpop X. It's their gripping primer. It is very similar in theory to the Milk Makeup gripping primer, but what I like about this one, it does not have the denatured alcohol, yet it has the same tackiness and texture. I have used this a few times, and so far everything that I've put on top of it has really performed well. And I normally don't have a problem with my makeup lasting, not lasting, I should say, but I still think it did really well. Now the foundation I'm using, I'm still trying to decide if I like, so we're going to get into that in a minute. But it is a clear, again, very similar. It's very thick going on. Oddly enough, it has an alcohol smell to it, which I found interesting, which is why I was alarmed when I first tried it. I can say that you do want to let your makeup sit before you put, not your makeup, your skincare sit before you put this on, and you also do want to let this sit for just, a minute or so before you go in so that it doesn't have the chance to pill. So what's going on? Obviously, I'm going to save the swatting story for last because no, I am not clickbaiting you. It did actually happen to me, and if you don't know what swatting is, I'll get into that in a little bit, but oh boy, I am going to tell you what's going on in my life right now and the stress that I'm under and everything that is just happening. Oh crud. I was going to use the Elemis Superfood Glow Moisturizing, Glow Priming Moisturizer, this little guy. I've also tried this, and this is also very nice, but as scatterbrained as I am, I'm certainly not surprised. Tint Beauty Tinted and Brightening Eye Serum or Cream cream, yeah. It's, as it says, it's tinted, but I don't think it's moisturizing enough for my under eye, even though it's quite thick. So if you're new here, hello, and thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate you. I have lost an enormous amount of people in the last 2 years, and therefore many changes are happening in my life. One of them being that the house has to get sold, and rather quickly, because I wasn't on the mortgage. It was in my parents' name, and now that they are deceased, the mortgage of course has come due. I think the house can sell very quickly, but the problem is, where do I go? That's the big issue. You can see it adds like just a little bit of brightness underneath my eyes. Now I'm going to take the Dragon Beauty, the purple correcting primer, and I just want to try to neutralize some of my melasma that I have. The sunscreen that I have on, I didn't bring it with me, but it is from Drunk Elephant, and I will put the name of it on the screen. It's really, really good, but the problem is it's very moisturizing, and granted, it's heavy, but it doesn't affect the way my makeup goes on. And if you have drier skin or more mature skin, I think you will like it. Honestly, even though I don't have oily skin, I don't think you will like it if you do have oily skin. I'm also using the Pixi Beauty Awakening Apricot color corrector. This one is a little bit drier than the Milani and the Dragon Beauty that I like, but it does have good color correction. So I have to make sure that my eyes are extremely moisturized. So yeah, I mean, selling a house, everybody's done it. I've done it before. I've owned a house before. There's a lot of things. There's not really equity in the house, so it's not like I'm going to be able to sell the house and walk away and just buy something else. If I break even, I will be lucky. The foundation I'm using is the Yensa Super Serum Silk Foundation. Now, this is touted as, you know, miracles for people with my skin type, that being more mature, and I love the other Yensa foundation that I have. I'm just so on the fence about this one. This is definitely a neutral color for sure. Now, I unfortunately had to pick this for one of my products in one of my upcoming boxes, but I had purchased this because it was on sale, and so I'm a little bit of a conundrum at the moment. I'm using the IT Cosmetics Heavenly Skin. This came with the brush, but the internal thing inside the brush broke and I am unable to fix it. As you can see, it's quite a runny foundation, but you see how the undertone is really, really good? Now, look how full coverage it is, which is what really, really surprised me. It really doesn't have a scent. So I don't know how many of you are from New York that watch, but I can tell you that New York, not only, well, the housing market has gone up all over the country, but New York prices are absurd. I mean, I live in one of the 5 boroughs, and when I do ready to leave, I will do a final house tour probably, and then let you know which borough I actually lived in all this time. But I do want to move back to Westchester County. When I was married, I lived in Westchester County, but it was a lot more affordable then. And the other issue I have is that I don't want to be more than 30 minutes away from work because, you know, I get vertigo in the car. I get vertigo all the time. So long drives are not healthy for me for my MS, and it's just something that I need to do. Now, a lot of people have been, they're trying to be helpful, but they're like, you have to do this and you have to do that, and, well, you know, you got to make sacrifices if you want things. And people actually suggested I get rid of a couple of my cats, and I think I told you about the last person who asked me to get rid of my cats. That relationship didn't last. You know, I know, as I said, I know people are trying to be helpful, but telling me, well, you have to do this and you have to do that, that's not helping. I'm in enough stress. I have more anxiety than I've ever had in my entire life. The panic attacks come on, and I never had panic attacks before until the past few years. The panic attacks that happen are absolutely terrifying and causes me so much distress that it's affecting all areas of my life. See, now I'm looking in the mirror and it looks pretty good. Let me turn on the light here. It's heavier than I'm used to currently, but now it looks good. Maybe it is a combination of the moisturizers, letting them sit in, and the particular primer, because this primer really, really made the foundation look quite good, and I didn't even use that much of it. So that's why I said I'm on the fence about it. I hate having to do this disclaimer, but I'm not looking for sympathy or empathy or trying to do a whole woe is me type of thing. I know that everybody has things that they're going through, and their things that they're going through are not less important. Neither are mine. It just happens to be what I'm going through, and honestly, I'm not handling everything well. I'm not okay. I keep telling people, yeah, I'm okay, I'm not okay. And I'm working through it, and I'm trying to get help for it. But it's okay to say that you're not okay. Having to pack up this house that my parents have lived in for 50 years and I moved back 10 years ago is daunting. It's physically difficult. Trying to do so without air conditioning in this weather is also quite difficult. Oh, I just realized I put on my concealer. I didn't even tell you what it was. This is the Yensa Skin on Skin BC Concealer. This I got at the same time, and I absolutely adore this. This is an amazing concealer. I didn't bring the right sponge, but oh well. So, I don't think I'm going to be able to buy right now. And that is essentially what I really want. I don't want a house again. I just want myself a nice little condo with some outdoor space that I don't have to take care of the property, because that's what's killing me, is taking care of the property. There's like no cakiness going on with this concealer, and that's a miracle for me. So before I set my face, I have like a million bronzers that I really want to try, and I can't try them all. I have the Soul Body Face and Body Bronzing Balm. This one is in the color, what are you? It's in the color medium. I've tried it a couple of times, not on my body, but on my face. It looks quite dark, yet on my skin, I think it looks pretty good, but we can determine. I also want to maybe try a little bit of the Elemis. I have been trying it. This is the one that I was shocked by the color, but it is so light, and it's perfect for if you just want like a little bit of something. I find that I can't put it on directly. I have to tap onto a brush. I also have this Ciate London bronzer, which is a little bit orange, and honestly I've tried all of these, I think, but again there's so many that I can't keep track. I know. And then I have this Shades by Shan bronzer. I probably have like 5 more bronzers in there. Again, I don't even know if I tried this one yet. I don't think I have. I'm going to take what I think is a motor brush, and I'm going to tap, and I just want, see, it's already taking off like my foundation, and that's just annoying me beyond words. I'm going to try this more fluffy e.l.f. brush. It's like one of the Duo Fiber. We knew it wouldn't take long. I just didn't know how long it was going to take. This is very wet feeling. That's the odd thing. They say that it's cooling on your skin, but it feels like you're putting water on your skin. And with this foundation, I'm just not liking it. So before I ruin anything else, I'm going to try something else. Yeah, that makes a whole hell of a lot of sense, Leann, doesn't it? Let's go ahead instead, I rhymed, with the Soul Body. I know I have a Colourpop brush to go with this, but, you know, see, this one doesn't feel wet, and that's what I want. This isn't really contour. This is more just, you know, bronzy type stuff. So as I was saying, I know that I'm all over this place, and as I said, I should try to script these things, but I'm more of a person who just speaks from the heart, speaks what's on her mind, more stream of consciousness, because that's kind of just how I work. Hence the reason I am a completely unorganized mess in the rest of my life. But rents here are absurd. They usually require that you make at least 40 to 50 times the monthly asking rent. And for a studio, what I've been finding, little tiny studio, 450, 500 square foot apartments with 5 cats is not going to work well. It's nearly impossible. They're $1,200 to $1,500 a month, plus utilities, plus cable. So you're talking basically For a $1,500 a month apartment, you're talking $2,000 a month, easily, for a studio. Now, I unfortunately have some certain needs that I have to meet for the place that I'm going to live. I bought a bunch of stuff from Bite Beauty. I know that they still have everything basically 50% off. This is the Bite Beauty Changemaker Pressed Powder setting. It just says pressed powder, but I have mine in light too. I'm so sad still that Bite Beauty is going out of business. Makes me sad. It does come with a little puff, which I'm probably going to try underneath my eyes. I've never tried this one before, so this is going to be fun. I don't have anywhere to go. I'm just going to be staying home packing. But, you know, still don't want to look, you know, scary, which I'm going to get into again with the whole swatting thing. I just went and got my, what is this? This is the Pixi brand. What the hell are you called? Oh my goodness gracious. Complex Culture. Wow, Leann. Let's see how this does. Let me get some light here. Upon first application, it's quite nice. Sure, I'm going to like a powder that I can't get anymore. Go figure. That's alright, I have a lot of other powders that I really do enjoy. So, you know, if I didn't have a car and phone and gas and food and feeding my cats and all the other things that I have to pay for, okay, you know, maybe I could afford that. But as I was saying that I forgot. I was talking about the things I need. I can't do like a third floor walk up. My body won't tolerate it. So I also have to have parking that's pretty close to the door. I just want to be able to open my door and walk in, because that's what the accommodation that I need for my MS. You know, if my MS doesn't stay in check and I overtax my body, then I pay for it in many, many other ways. And so far this is looking really nice. I do want to, as I said, try the puff underneath my eyes with the powder and see how it works. Very few powders work underneath my eyes. That immediately looks really, really dry. Oy. I'm glad I'm not going anywhere. I don't know if you can, I'm going to zoom in really, really close, but I said with my lighting and with my camera, I don't know if you'll be able to see how it just like kind of caked up and matted in here, and I can't even smooth that out now. Oh well, such is life. I need a place that will take animals, and so many places in New York do not take animals. I'm going to, even though it's cream, try putting on the Merit Beauty Raspberry Beret blush. It comes like this. It's kind of cute. I keep forgetting to grab for this because it is a cream, but I do like it a lot. And even though the color looks so intense, as you can see, it just goes on so beautifully. I did receive this in PR, by the way. I did not purchase this. So, you know, you add up all of those factors, and the pool of places definitely becomes limited. The other thing is a lot of places require credit scores of over 700. And I'm going to tell you, I don't have a good credit score. I will admit that. I'm working on it currently, but currently it is not where it needs to be. So I emailed one person. Now, I mean, I have a steady job. I have several jobs. The other two jobs are obviously 1099s, which means they are not consistent. This job being one of them, but believe me, anything I make from here is so nominal, it's not even going to really count towards anything. But you know, the other job is nominal, let's put it that way. But I do have a steady job with a W-2 that's consistent, that's reliable, but without a good credit score, the opportunities are again narrowed. I was about to say that the one place I emailed, I told her, she wanted to know what I did, how long I've been there, she wanted all my details, and she said, "What's your credit score?" And I told her, and she did not email me back. This is just so pretty. It's just enough, and I really like this. I would like to buy a few more products from Merit because I've only gotten 2 products from them, but I'm, you know, trying to conserve money at the moment. I know I had some kind of new highlighter. I don't know where it is. Typical of me. Therefore, I'm just going to use my tried and true. I want like necessarily a heavy highlighter. I don't want, yeah, you know, so I'm just going to use my Dior. What is this? The Backstage. I'm going to use, what is it called? Shimmer Rose and probably the Sheer Gold mixed together. This is one of the Lorella brushes. I saw that Lorella Cosmetics was in, I think, was it the Trend Move box? I didn't get it, but there was a lot of products in there from what I understand. I like this palette because it just gives a beautiful sheen, a glow. You know, it's not like somebody's going to say, oh wow, look at your highlighter. Well, except for over here a little bit, because I went a little bit heavy. But it's just pretty, and I like it. And then I have this whole thing of trying to decide what to do with my parents' things. I'm having a very hard time getting rid of them. You know, it's like when people pass away, suddenly it's like you're now tasked with just getting rid of their things when these things meant something to the people when they're alive, and to just throw them out and just give them away feels just awful, if that makes sense. I'm using another Bite Beauty product. This one is the it's the Agave Nighttime Lip Therapy, but my lips are drier than the Sahara, so I'm using it now. And I love that it comes with a little baby spatula that actually sits in the cap. The reason that I don't like, look how it's sitting there, it's really thick. The reason that I don't like use the spatula in the Laneige is because I lose them. People gave this bad reviews online, but so far I like it. It's thick and it's exclusive, and that's just what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go more into everything regarding what's going on with my moving and where I'm going to go, and maybe I'll just take you along the very confusing, very arduous journey that I'm going to be on for the next couple of months. But I do want to start my eyes and get into what happened to me with the swatting. So I had to pick up this little cutie pootie. Nope. Nope. Cutie patootie little palette from Pat McGrath. This is the first of this size that she has ever released. It only has 4 shadows. No, it has 6 shadows in it. This is her mini eyeshadow palette in Midnight Voyage. Again, you are getting 6 shadows, and you're getting a total of 3 grams of product, which means there is only half a gram of product in each of the shadows, which doesn't bother me. But this is $25, and yeah, sure, it's an expensive price for it. And this has been getting a lot of mixed reviews online. I personally have enjoyed it. I will say that without eye primer, it will fade throughout the day. Henceforth, I'm going to be using the Gerard Cosmetics, the something canvas. And I don't even know because the label has worn off on the bottom, which is kind of annoying. But as you can see, I've gone through quite a bit of it. It's very thick. It also works really good as a concealer, especially for your body. It's an expensive palette, but to me, I think that they perform pretty well. And if you wanted to try some Pat McGrath for a little bit of luxury and you wanted to spend the $25, it's better than spending the $120 that her big palettes are. She is coming out with a new palette. I believe it's being released. I have to check the date on it. I will not be getting that one because I can't right now. I do have to conserve money. As I said, this stuff is amazing. I love it. I will be repurchasing this one. Let me swatch this quickly for you since it is only 6 shadows. You're getting 2 mattes, and then the other 4 are varying degrees of shimmery or metallic. You have Divine Glow, Entrapment, and Sunset Bronze. This is a shimmery color, but it is very pale, and I really love this for my brow bone. You have Extreme Aubergine, Eleganza, and Night Creature. Gotta love the names. I want to use my Refer brushes, but they're dirty and I'm a lazy ass, so that's why I sound like a commercial, but this is the Cinema Secrets Quick Drying Makeup Brush Cleanser, and I love this, and I have to say thank you, Clara, because I just bought the liquid one, and although you can't use your brushes immediately after, you don't have to rinse them off, so it's much easier to clean your brushes and wipe them off, because that's all you have to do. But you have to be careful, because I dipped one of my brushes too far into it, and the liquid has soaked up, and it but it loosened the hairs. So thank goodness it wasn't one of these that I ruined. But so that stuff you do have to be careful, but it works amazingly. So I just spray this stuff onto a tissue, and then I wipe my brushes on it. I'm going to take the matte brown. Now it doesn't have a really light matte, but for some reason it's not really bothering me. Everything is just working for me in the palette the way it is. What happened to me the other night? It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm in bed. I just happened to be wearing my kitten pajamas. I had my hair in a top knot. And I get a text from my next door neighbor. My next door neighbors have been amazingly wonderful people, as you all are. She checks on me, you know, she keeps in touch with me. She helps me out when I need it. And I get a text from her and she says, "Are you all right?" And I thought she was I thought it was odd that she was texting me at 11, but you know, that's okay. I mean, I was sleeping. I was, you know, in that moment when, you know, everything's kind of twilighty and you're like asleep, but you're not. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'm doing okay. I'm struggling. I'm having a really hard time. She's like, "No, why are cops swarming your house?" I said, "Excuse me?" I said, "What?" Look how smoothly that went on and how easily it blended. This is the Refer 15 brush, by the way. I know Refer brushes are expensive, but if you can get them when they're on sale, or you do the concept store and you give reviews, you get a really, really nice discount. There's so many more things that I want from them that I can't get. I want their little organizer trays, the magnetic ones. Yeah, I can't do that for a while. Anyway, I jump out of bed. I put on my bunny slippers. Yes, I do have bunny slippers. So my heart's pounding in my chest, and I hear the cops outside saying my address. I'm like, what is going on? And there are lights, and I look outside, and there's at least 10 cops out there. So I open my door, and I'm like, all of a sudden, all these lights come on. All these flashlights are like shining on me. I'm in my pajamas. They were like, "Do you have a basement?" Yes, I do have a basement. "Where's the entrance?" I'm like, "It's outside." I have those old, like, Wizard of Oz, Dorothy type cellar doors outside because it's such an old house. They are impossible to break into. You can't get into them from the outside. I'm taking this dark brownish purple on my Refer number 13. So they're asking me tons of questions. They're like, "Do you live alone? Is there anyone else in the house?" I'm like, no. I'm answering all of their questions. I'm a little nervous, but very cooperative to see, like, you know, 10 plus cops at my door. Well, we got a 911 call that said, get this one, my friends. Someone was being held hostage in my basement at gunpoint. Now, me being the wise ass that I am, and the sense of humor that I have, I said, "Officer, the only thing in my basement are spiders, and I might want to hold them at gunpoint, but I currently haven't." Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. They're like, "Can we come in and check?" I was like, "Come on in, guys." I said, "Please just don't let my cats out." That was my biggest fear, that there were going to be all these people in my house and you know, my cats would got out. So, guns drawn, they go into my basement. I was like, it's not pretty down there. Let me tell you, I have an old stone, very small basement that just has the utilities in my washer and dryer and a whole lot of laundry and a lot of spiders and a lot of spider webs. So a few of them go down and they check and they come back up. But the other cops that are in my kitchen currently, I'm talking to them, I was like, I'm sorry. I said, because the cats are all going over like, oh, hi, who are you? And I'm like, this is not a good time, babies. I don't think they want to play with you. But they were actually talking to them. And he was like, I have a couple of cats myself. How many do you have? Etc., etc. So he comes out of the basement. He's like, yep, no one down there. The poor man is covered in cobwebs because he must have been going like all behind like the boiler and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm so sorry. So, I mean, there's a couple of things. So he came up and again, he explained, we had to investigate, somebody calls and says they're being held hostage at gunpoint. It's going to draw a lot of people. It's like, yes, I get that. I'm just putting that darker purpley brown on my bottom lash line. This is my Wet n Wild brush. It's so soft. I really, really do like it. Now, I don't have a flat shader brush from Refer with which to like lay on the shimmers, but I'm going to use my Luxe Beauty. This is from a set that I got not too long ago. I never really played with this one much. I always go into the purple, so I'm going to go into this one here. These do go on beautifully with a brush. I mean, look at that. It's like instant gorgeousness. That's what I like about this, because you can go really light and simple, or you can go all purple and really deep and dramatic, or you can go bronzy deep and dramatic, which is why I think there's a lot of variety in the palette, and I like it. So, the other thing I'm thinking to myself is, there were 10 very good-looking cops standing in my kitchen, but this is not how I want them to see me. It was a look. We'll just say it was a look. I'm taking this really pretty pink in towards the corner. And look at the intenseness of these shadows. They're really just stunning. I'm going to take this Real Techniques brush, which is like an angled brush, and it's completely flat and very thin, and I'm going to use this really light shimmer, and I'm going to put that on my brow bone. I'm probably going to have to do it again, and actually I'm going to stop that for a moment because I do want to do my brows. I got this Secret of Pharaoh brow product in CVS. It was, how expensive was it? No, it wasn't at all. I got this at Marshall's, not at CVS. This other one I got at CVS. This was $3.99. I don't know what the original price is. If I can find it, I'll let you know. But I just love trying brow products. Of course, it has a spoolie, and it has the very microfine tip, which is what I really enjoy for my brow products. The color is a little bit warm for my liking, but it's not too waxy. But it has that grip so that it doesn't go all over the place when you are trying to define your brows. What I just did was I put on the side of my nose, and I just like make a dot right here on either side, because that's really where I want my end to come to, and it just kind of gives me a little bit of a guide of how to fill them in. Now it's a little bit boxy, but I'm gonna get rid of that in a minute. The one that I did get in CVS, which was a little bit more expensive, but again, I am curious to see if I can find dupes for some of my other liquid brow products that have this type of felt tip to it that will work instead of the Urban Decay and the ABH, which I really do love, which I still haven't bought the proper color for. This one's still a little bit dark, but it definitely gives me the brow hairs that I want. So I have to say that the police officers that were at my house were very professional, very nice, very apologetic to me, but they were also like, we want to make sure that you were safe, and I totally get that. And of course, if there was somebody trapped in some basement at gunpoint, I guess I would want them to be safe too. Oh, so let me read you the definition of swatting, because I have to tell you, I honestly wasn't sure what it was either. Okay, here is the definition of swatting: the action or practice of making a prank call to emergency services in an attempt to bring about the dispatch of a large number of armed police officers to a particular address. Now, you have to say to yourself, who would do that? I have no idea. I'm not going to obviously be able to find out who did it, or was it actually a case of really somebody in distress That's like the crazy, crazy thing. If it was a prank, it's a horrible prank. Like, how could you do that to somebody? You know what I mean? I really like this pen as well. I'm still hunting for that perfect color for, like that perfect cool brown for my eyebrows, but honestly, I do like it. Now, I have this thing here. What is this from? I have this Lock, L-O-C-K, waterproof eyeliner. And let's see how waterproof she is. Goes on my waterline well. And it was also quite creamy and smooth on my upper, on my lid as well. So, we'll see how long it lasts. I am just finishing up my finishing powder from, who is this by again? I think this is the Milani Prep Set and Glow. You can see I've used it so much. I'm almost done, and the cover is broken off, but that's okay. This is an amazing drugstore finishing powder. I'm going to spray my face with the Tower 28 SOS Daily Rescue Facial Spray. For a mini, this has a beautiful mister, and I really like it. I am going to set my face as well. I'm going to do that off camera. So I just set my face with my MAC Fix Plus. This one is in, I don't know, it's the green one. I want to finish it up. The cops were professional and nice. I apologize for them for having to be dragged out, but let me tell you, it was a scary situation. It could have been a deadly situation if, you know, things had gone wrong. If you just never know. And why somebody would do that? Like, why would anybody do that? Do you know what I mean? And by the way, my under eye with that setting powder, I don't like it. I am sticking to my By Terry, or believe it or not, the Urban Decay Velvetizer. That one works beautifully underneath my eyes. So let's just say I couldn't go back to sleep. My anxiety was definitely through the roof after that, and it was way more stress than I needed right now. I am trying out 2 different colors of the Maybelline Superstay Vinyl Ink. I'm really not sure how I feel about them. I got 2 colors that I wasn't really thrilled about, but I wanted to try it. What I found was, no, these are not definitely super staying. What does that mean, Leann? I don't think they have incredible staying power. Oh! And I found that it collects in the corners of my lips, and I despise that. I'm always like checking, and I hate that. It just drives me nuts. You can see it has like a flat angled paddle applicator. It does have a nice sweet scent. Not too opaque, which can be a good thing or a bad thing, because as you put it on, it is kind of a little streaky. So as for my other situation, the next couple of months are going to be so stressful, because all I do is go look online, on Craigslist, on all of these sites, try to do word of mouth to try to find a place to live that I can afford. Some of the rents for 1-bedroom apartments are more than I take home in a month. And that is absurd. I don't make a lot of money, but I don't make a horrible salary either. And I think it's terrible that for what I make, that I can't just find a nice little place to live. So I think this color is pretty. We'll let it dry down a little bit. So honestly, I'm living my life in a lot of fear right now, with a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress, and the not knowing where I'm going or what I'm going to do. On top of all of the other distress that I'm in, I'm still grieving, and I haven't fully dealt with that yet. Honestly, you put it all together in a basket and don't know what to do with it. I just realized that I did not put on mascara, and I'm probably going to insert this clip in before the end of the video, but it's just to show you how scatterbrained I am. I'm going to use the Rowan Beauty Mascara. I was going to go get my Bite Beauty Mascara, but I don't feel like getting up again, so I'm just going to go in with the Rowan. I'm not even going to use primer or anything. This mascara works much better with my primer, but it does not clump, which is why I really love it. I mean, normally I happen to prefer a very dramatic lash, even though I have naturally long lashes. I don't know, I just like the drama. I also realized I didn't put anything on my lower waterline. I'm always forgetting something when I do these videos. You just have to expect that from me. Builds up a little bit, but again, it's not getting cakey, and that's more important. Who wants to sit there and try to comb out their lashes? Who has time for that? See? I think it looks great. Anyway, back to the other part of the video. I hope I remember to edit this in there. Again, this video was not meant, you know, for people to say, oh, you know, oh, woe is you. That's not it. But I know that somebody out there has to be, or has to have experienced something of what I'm feeling. And maybe my story will make them say, I'm not alone. And maybe you telling me your experience is going to say to me that I'm not alone. In my world right now, I felt very alone. So I can't tell you how grateful I have been for this channel, the opportunity to interact with you guys and relate to you on a level that keeps me going. I hate that my lips are starting to stick together. I think I put it on too thickly. Anyway, I could always take it off. It's just makeup. But makeup makes me happy, and you guys make me happy because you're all amazingly wonderful people. And I tell you over and over again how grateful I am for you. And I hope you got a giggle out of this video and my story, because I'm still like completely shocked over it on a daily basis. Let me know what you think about the look. I will give you follow-up details on all of the products. I am hoping to sit down and do an empties video and a favorites video for like the last 3 or 4 months, because I do have some products that, you know, I want to talk about and discuss. But once again, my friends, I love you guys so very much, and I hope you're having an amazing day or an amazing night, depending upon where you are and when you're watching this. I just hope that you are all doing well. Everything that I threw on my face is going to be down below, hopefully. Of course, you know that those are going to be magic links, which means I make a little bit of commission, and so I appreciate you if you use those, and if you don't, that is okay too. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon in my next one. Much love, everybody. Bye.